You know, one of the hardest things for people to think about is planning for end of life. But here's the kicker, not planning. That can actually make things a whole lot harder on everyone you leave behind. I mean, imagine you're grieving and suddenly you have a mountain of paperwork, financial decisions, and a choose your own adventure guide for funeral arrangements thrown on your lap. It's not fun. So today we are diving into the financial preparation for end of life through the lens of a death doula. Now, this isn't just about numbers. It's about taking care of your loved ones emotionally, practically, and yes, financially. So they don't have to stress or struggle in a time meant for healing and remembrance. And if you're new here, my name is Beth Montgomery. I am a death doula. I'm not an attorney or a financial planner, and I don't offer legal advice. Instead, I work alongside these professionals to help ensure that every decision you make reflects your values, beliefs, and unique legacy. So let's get started. So first question, why does financial preparation even matter? And why would I need a death doula to help me through this? So a death doula can help make sure that you're covered in areas that maybe not front of mind. And maybe you don't want to talk to an attorney first off, or the hospice care center, or the funeral home, because that can be really overwhelming, right? So we're going to ask questions like, how can I make my wishes clear without adding burden? How do I avoid leaving my family in debt? Can I set things up to honor my legacy in a meaningful way? Now, the goal here is simple, but so powerful. It's to bring peace, security, and a sense of control during what can feel like a time of uncertainty and immense grief. And that's exactly what we're going to be covering today at like a broad view. There's a lot that goes into it, so I'm just going to give you a bird's eye view of all the things to think about. So your first step is to assess your financial needs and priorities. Where a death doula can help is we help clarify what matters most to you about your end-of-life care and legacy, while also making sure that these wishes are actually doable. Now, everyone has different priorities. Some people want to age comfortably at home with a support team, while others might be thinking about hospice or specific ways they'd like to give back to the community. But having a death doula walk alongside you, they can help you think about the impacts with each decision and maybe out of the box ideas that not necessarily an attorney might think of or a funeral home might think of. Another thing a death doula can help you think about is the impacts with each decision. For example, aging at home might mean adjusting your budget to allow for caregiver support or adding a contingency fund for unexpected medical expenses. Plus, they can help you identify other types of support, like community resources or other options that are out there, which is especially useful when you're feeling a little bit lost in the sea of paperwork and terms and Google searches. And trust me, once you have a clearer picture of your priorities, every other step just falls into place, because where the mind goes, energy flows. Anyway, moving on to number 2, which is all about organization. So a death doula can help you pull together a financial file with everything from your will to insurance to essential contacts. This one-stop shop saves your family a wild goose chase for important documents during an already emotional time. And with a death doula, this goes beyond than just gathering papers. They'll help you organize it in a way that makes sense for you. And there's different tools to organize all these documents in, like digital tools. Like a lot of people haven't thought about that because, well, it's not front of mind, right? And just as a tip, these secure platforms that hold these digital copies of documents, it makes it super easy for your family and your healthcare proxy or your power of attorney to access, especially if they're not close by. But if you're old school and you prefer a binder system, that's totally fine too. But here's a practical tip of what you want to put into these filing systems. You want to set up your will, your healthcare or end-of-life directives, any financial accounts and passwords, important contacts like your attorney, financial advisor, and other support. Basically, anything that's important to your life, make sure it's in that file. All right, moving on to number 3, medical costs and long-term care. Yeah, medical costs are no joke, especially when you're facing chronic and long-term illnesses. Now, here is where a death doula's experience really shines. They can help you evaluate your options, if that's on your radar, with long-term care insurance or in-home care. They can also help strategize other ways to plan for potential expenses, even if insurance isn't feasible. And let's get real, medical costs can throw anyone for a loop. So understanding Medicare, Medicaid, and even VA benefits can be game changers in this space. case. Like, did you know, for instance, that certain Medicaid waivers can cover aspects of home care, or that some hospice providers will offer financial counseling? Most people don't. And that's where a death doula can help bridge the gap. There are so many resources out there that can help in times of need, and we just don't know where to look for it. So if long-term care insurance isn't your thing or feasible or accessible, that's okay. A death doula can help you consider alternatives and help you save for plans like healthcare cost or community resources that can provide support for your family when they need it. Okay, now number 4, planning for funeral and burial costs. Now here's where things can get real expensive real fast, and the industry can sometimes take advantage of people when they're in grief. But a death doula can help you bring balance back, guiding you to make choices that feel meaningful without overdoing it financially. Today's funeral average, it costs between $7,000 to $10,000, and most people don't realize it until it's right in front of them. A death doula is here to help explore other options. Do you want to explore something different, like a green burial or a home funeral? A death doula is here for it. Green burials, for example, offer an affordable and eco-friendly option, letting you return to the earth naturally. A death doula can help you with navigating legal requirements, connecting you to resources, and even facilitating family conversations about why these choices feel right for you. And remember, simple can be beautiful. A personalized but simple celebration or memorial can feel even more meaningful than an elaborate event, especially when it resonates with who you are and what you value. And the last thing, have the tough conversations. A death doula can also make sure that your loved ones understand your wishes. Bringing up these conversations can feel awkward or even painful, but they are so important. You're giving a huge gift to your family by sharing your intentions openly and allowing them to understand your heart. Having a third-party, neutral person there to help guide the conversations can really make a difference. And if talking about death just feels too heavy, a death doula can help bring it down. Think about it this way. When everyone knows what to expect, it frees them up to actually grieve and remember you in a way that feels beautiful and sacred rather than frantic or conflicted. So this isn't about doom and gloom or being morbid. It's about making sure that your life is honored in all its richness and depth. By preparing financially, you're lifting a heavy burden from the people that you love the most, and you're giving them the freedom to be present, to feel, and to celebrate you without the added weight of last-minute decision-making or financial strain. A death doula can walk you through every one of these pieces and more, helping to make it real, meaningful, and yes, even a little easier to navigate. So if this speaks to you, I'd love to invite you to book a call with me. We'll talk about your goals, your visions, and how we can create a plan that makes your journey as peaceful, meaningful, and as true to you as possible. And until next time, be good to yourself. Sending you lots of love.